In this podcast episode, Dr. Eric Topol sheds light on a pressing and largely overlooked public health crisis: the pervasive presence of microplastics and forever chemicals in our environment and bodies, and how these toxins are contributing to the rising epidemic of chronic diseases and diminishing our longevity. One of the fundamental concepts Dr. Topol elucidates is the nature of microplastics, tiny plastic particles so small they can only be seen under a microscope. Unlike their larger counterparts, these microscopic plastics do not biodegrade. They are ubiquitous, infiltrating the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the food we consume. As people go about their daily lives, microplastics shed from items like plastic bags, water bottles, and packaging enter their bodies constantly, accumulating over time in various organs including arteries, reproductive systems, and even the brain. Equally alarming are forever chemicals, scientifically known as PFAS. This vast group of over 10,000 chemically related compounds features a strong fluoride-to-carbon bond, rendering them essentially non-degradable and persistent in the environment and human body. PFAS are found in countless household products: non-stick pans, waterproof fabrics, food packaging, cosmetic products, and even flame retardants. Because of their stability and widespread use, virtually everyone has detectable levels of these chemicals in their bloodstream. Dr. Topol discusses how these toxins are not harmless. They elicit chronic inflammation, a fundamental process implicated in many diseases. Studies, including one notable investigation from Italy, found microplastics lodged inside carotid arteries where they were surrounded by intense inflammation. People with these microplastics had a fourfold increased risk of heart attacks and strokes. Inflammation from these foreign particles damages tissues and contributes to atherosclerosis, impaired blood flow, and other cardiovascular conditions. Moreover, microplastics have been discovered in brain tissue, reproductive organs, semen, and even within women's reproductive systems, linking them to fertility issues and increased cancer risks. The rise in cancers among young adults, colon cancer in people in their 20s, breast cancer in women in their early 30s, far exceeds what genetic predispositions alone can explain. Dr. Topol suggests that environmental toxins like microplastics, forever chemicals, and air pollution act synergistically to induce mutations and inflammation that promote cancer development. The same toxins have been implicated in rising infertility rates among men and women, as well as in the increasing incidence of autoimmune disorders, developmental conditions like autism, and other chronic diseases increasingly diagnosed at younger ages. Mel Robbins and Dr. Topol dive into specific everyday products that contribute to our toxic burden. Common kitchen items, such as Tupperware and plastic containers, are major culprits. Not only do they release microplastics into food that is stored in them, but microwaving food in plastic containers exacerbates the release. Heat accelerates the breakdown of plastics into nano-sized particles that are readily absorbed by the body. A simple swap to glass containers reduces this risk significantly. Personal care products are another unsuspected source. Many hairsprays, deodorants, and perfumes contain PFAS chemicals to improve texture or longevity. Spraying these products on the skin or hair introduces toxic compounds directly into the body through inhalation or skin absorption. Candles, particularly colored or strongly scented ones, may emit these chemicals into the air, contributing to indoor pollution that is inhaled over time. Even seemingly benign products, such as menstrual hygiene items and baby diapers, have been found to contain these forever chemicals, exposing women and infants to continual low-level doses with unknown but potentially harmful effects. Non-stick cookware, often coated with Teflon or titanium-infused plastics, also releases microplastics during cooking. Using wooden utensils and avoiding plastic-coated non-stick pans can minimize this exposure. The heat applied during cooking and food preparation catalyzes the degradation of plastics and chemical coatings, increasing the amount of toxins transferred into the food and ultimately into one's body. Beyond products, the quality of indoor and outdoor air is a critical factor. Fine particulate matter, particularly particles smaller than 2.5 microns, includes some of the most harmful airborne pollutants, including microplastics and chemical compounds. These tiny particles penetrate deep into the lungs, enter the bloodstream, and trigger inflammatory processes that heighten risks for cardiovascular disease, cancer, and neurodegeneration. Dr. Topol emphasizes the importance of improving air quality through better ventilation, using effective air filtration systems such as HEPA filters, and supporting public health initiatives focused on reducing air pollution. Despite growing awareness, especially amplified by the COVID-19 pandemic, there remains insufficient action to make buildings and homes truly healthy environments free from persistent air toxins. One of the most frustrating aspects Dr. Topol highlights is the systemic complacency and lack of regulatory action surrounding these toxic exposures. Industries profiting from the production and use of plastics and related chemicals have long resisted change. A revealing case discussed involves 3M, a company aware of the health risks of PFAS chemicals, yet choosing not to act decisively to curb their environmental release. The absence of ingredient labeling and transparency compounds the difficulty for consumers to make informed choices. Dr. Topol stresses that despite the lack of definitive cause and effect proof for every disease, the growing body of epidemiological, toxicological, and mechanistic research paints a clear picture of harm. It is incumbent on individuals, industry, and governments to no longer ignore these hazards, but to mobilize resources toward reducing exposure, improving health outcomes, and protecting future generations. While the environmental toxic burden is vast and systemic, Dr. Topol encourages individuals to take practical steps that can meaningfully reduce their personal exposure. These include avoiding plastic wrapping in containers, switching to glass or stainless steel for food and water storage, using non-toxic personal care products, and investing in home air filtration. Buying fresh produce from farmers markets where items are often unwrapped reduces plastic contact. Awareness itself is powerful. Recognizing that everyday choices can either increase or decrease exposure is the first step toward healthier living. Dr. Topol's message balances urgency with hope. While widespread environmental reforms and stronger regulations are necessary to confront the problem at its core, every person can take control in their immediate environment to protect themselves and their families. Awareness combined with incremental changes in household habits lays the foundation for healthier aging and disease prevention.